Yes, so my name is Karl Leonhardt. I work as a surgeon at the Medical University of Vienna in the Department of General Surgery. Um, I'm particularly interested in diseases of the pancreas and pancreatic cancer in particular, both from a clinical perspective, but also from a research perspective. And in terms of research, we are interested in methodological approaches to better understand prognosis of pancreatic cancer. Other approaches we're doing is in terms of basic research, we're trying to take a evolutionary inspired approach to better understand development of resistance and so on in using cell culture models. So I think PC. I was inspired to join PC because I think it's a this idea of having a network of experts from different disciplines, basic science, clinical researchers, but also almost more importantly, I think also including patients, advocacy organizations, and I think this is really essential to make any progress in pancreatic cancer. And so this was my reason to join PC. So as I mentioned, I just joined briefly, so not a long time ago. So far, I was mainly taking advantage of the network, primarily among other researchers or clinicians. But I think there's many more aspects to discover for me, which are will be valuable. And as I mentioned before, I think it's particularly to also include the patient's perspective in conducting pancreatic cancer research or tackling this disease. So I think, yes, it's an excellent question. I think this is again where PC really is kind of a pioneer. And I think because I think a really important topic is that we need excellent collaborations between different researchers, different groups, patients, as I mentioned, patient advocacy organizations. Because first of all, we all know that the incidence or the number of pancreatic cancer patients is increasing in Europe. So there's an urgent and unmet need to better understand this disease. However, I think especially from a clinical perspective, it's very important to have these collaborations to build to conduct large trials, to build also biobank registries and so on and so forth. So this is why I think it's in, so the networking in the end or the collaboration is essential. It's a big challenge in this disease. And I think this is where PC is very important. Of course, funding is always an issue, always a topic, which is of interest. So I think this is also something which where I think we need more, especially for early career researchers, more funding opportunities available to conduct high risk projects, especially. And so I think these are main challenges in the fight against pancreatic cancer. Yes, I think what's while we all know pancreatic cancer is a very difficult disease, and I think one has to recognize or acknowledge that the prognosis has improved a lot in the last, let's say, 2 decades, both for the patients which can be operated, so my primary field of interest, but also for the patients which have already metastasized. And I think this is due, of course, to I don't know, improved perioperative care, improved chemotherapeutic regimens. So I think this is one message of hope. While the prognosis is poor in compared to other tumor entities, there is definitely a great improvement in the last 2 decades, I would say. And even more importantly, I think the outlook in the future, we can expect many more advances in research, and particularly now we're trying to understand. Oh, now we're trying to have all these drugs available which target key driver genes in pancreatic cancer. I think this is a very promising avenue, which will translate, I think, to the benefit of the patients. And then additionally, I think, and we know this already from the COVID pandemic, of course, these mRNA vaccines are also are also being, or like this mRNA-based technology is also being applied in the pancreatic cancer setting, and some early studies have shown very promising results there. So to summarize, I think while it is a very devastating disease, I think we can expect great progress in the future in terms of research, and which will translate to improved patient prognosis. And I think this is, again, something where it's so important to have collaborative networks, which brings experts, patients, patient advocacy organizations, and also politicians together, all the relevant stakeholders, to really to make this a combined effort to fight this disease.